I'm so sorry, sir. It was an accident, the table got bumped. Keisha's voice cracked on the last word, napkins already trembling in her hands as she knelt to dab at the single dark drop spreading across Thorne Blackwell's white lapel. Thorne didn't move. Didn't blink. Just stared down at her like she was something he'd stepped in. Then the corner of his mouth curled. Not a smile. A promise. Apology not accepted. The rooftop air thickened. Phones lifted slowly, silently, like predators sensing blood. He turned his head just enough to speak over his shoulder. Clippers. His assistant didn't hesitate, reached into the VIP grooming kit and produced the electric clippers in one smooth motion, thumb already flicking the switch. Keisha's eyes widened. She tried to stand. His hand clamped on her shoulder, hard, pushing her back down into the chair that had appeared from nowhere. Wait, please sir, I'll pay for the cleaning aisle. Shoo. Thorne leaned in, voice mock soft, almost tender. You want to make it up to me? Let's have some fun. He grabbed the first fistful of her box braids, thick, glossy, years of care wrapped in every twist, and brought the clippers down without warning. The sound was brutal. A harsh, electric rasp as hair sheared away in one violent pass. Keisha's breath hitched, sharp, broken. She tried to pull away. He held tighter. Look at that, Thorne said louder now, performing for the audience. Instant makeover. Much better. Another pass. Jagged bald patches bloomed across her scalp. The clippers whined higher, hungrier. Keisha's hands flew up instinctively to shield what was left. Tears burned tracks down her cheeks, but her eyes, when they lifted, weren't pleading anymore. They were burning. He laughed it off, too loud, too forced. See? Fun for everyone. And no one in that room, not even Thorne, expected this one arrogant act will make him lose everything he has ever worked for. Before we continue, I want to speak to you for a moment. If stories like this remind you that kindness still exists, if they make you feel something real in a world that's getting louder and colder, then I'd love to have you here with us. This channel isn't just videos, it's a tiny corner of the internet where good people come together. Where we believe in second chances, in hope, and in humanity. And right now you're early. You're part of the very first people building this family with me. So if you want to grow with us, if you want more stories that touch your heart, go ahead and subscribe. It's free, it supports the channel more than you know. And it tells me that there are still people out there who believe in kindness just as much as I do. If you have subscribed to this channel, I can officially say welcome to the family. The Hollywood Roosevelt rooftop shimmered under a sky full of stars that didn't care who was watching. String lights draped like golden veins over the infinity pool, reflecting off the water in lazy ripples. The Stars for Shelter gala was in full swing, red carpet energy, champagne flutes clinking, laughter too loud to be real. A-listers posed for invisible cameras, tech moguls traded whispers about the next big flip, and everyone pretended the charity part mattered. Keisha Reynolds moved through it all like smoke. She'd been on her feet since 10 a.m., morning shift at a coffee shop in Echo Park, then straight here for the night gig. 13 hours in, her black flats were rubbing blisters. Her apron smelled faintly of spilled espresso, but her smile stayed locked in place. Professional. Invisible. Perfect. She balanced a tray of chilled rose with the ease of someone who'd done this 1,000 times. In her head, though, she was already scripting. Look at these people raising money for housing while their apps jack up rents in South Central. Irony level, lethal. Equity Lens would eat this up later. Her anonymous platform had 500K followers who thought it was run by a shadowy collective. They didn't know it was mostly one tired black woman in a tiny studio apartment, editing late into the night. She approached VIP Section 3. The danger zone. 8 men in tailored suits, voices booming over the DJ's low bass. At the center, Thorne Blackwell. 32. Founder of Blackwell Ventures. $8 billion in luxury real estate tech. The guy whose app promised disruptive housing solutions, but mostly displaced families like the ones she grew up with. He lounged like the rooftop belonged to him, white suit pristine, Rolex catching every light. Keisha stepped close. More rose, gentlemen? Thorne flicked his glass without looking up. She poured, steady, flawless. Then one of his buddies slammed the table in a drunken toast. The tray jolted. One single drop of rose arced through the air and landed dead center on Thorne's lapel. Time stopped. Thorne's head snapped up. His eyes narrowed to slits. The stain bloomed slow and dark against the white fabric. Keisha's heart slammed against her ribs. She dropped to one knee instantly, napkins already out. "I'm so sorry, sir. It was an accident, the table got bumped." Thorne didn't blink. Just stared down at her like she was dirt. Then the corner of his mouth curled. Not a smile. A promise. Apology not accepted. The rooftop air thickened. Phones rose, silent, predatory. Thorne's voice sliced clean through the noise. "Clippers." His assistant moved like he'd rehearsed it. Reached into the VIP grooming kit, pulled the electric clippers, thumbed the switch. The buzz erupted into the night. Keisha tried to stand. His hand clamped her shoulder, hard, shoving her back into the chair someone had dragged over. "Wait, please sir, I'll pay for the cleaning aisle." "Shoo." Thorne crouched low, breath hot against her ear. "You want to make it up to me? Let's have some fun." He seized a thick fistful of her box braids, years of twists, beads, pride, and drove the clipper straight through. The rasp was savage. Hair sheared away in one brutal swipe. Black strands rained onto the glowing pool tiles like spilled ink. Keisha gasped, sharp, shattered. She twisted. He held tighter. Another pass. Jagged bald patches erupted across her scalp. The crowd laughed. Gasp. Film. Thorne performed louder. Instant upgrade. Who needs dignity when you've got entertainment? More hair fell. Tears carved tracks down Keisha's face. But even as the humiliation burned, a small, cold part of her mind stayed sharp. The tiny body cam clipped inside her apron collar, the one she always wore to these events for Equity Lens prep, was still rolling. Every word. Every laugh. Every cruel pass of the clippers. It had captured it all. The clippers whined on. Thorne shoved her head forward for the final sweep. Then, right as the crowd's laughter peaked, a woman in a sleek black gown stepped closer from the edge of the circle. She leaned in, voice barely audible over the buzz. "Equity Lens. Downtown beat. I'm with you." She slipped a slim burner phone into the side pocket of Keisha's apron, smooth as a pickpocket, then melted back into the shadows before anyone noticed. Thorne finished. He stepped back, admiring his work, clippers still humming in his hand. "See? Fun for everyone." Keisha sat there, head half shorn, tears streaming, dignity in pieces on the tiles. But her fingers were already closing around the burner phone in her pocket. The rooftop lights glittered. The Hollywood sign watched from the hills. And the countdown had begun. Keisha didn't run. She walked, head down, scalp prickling in the cool night air, the weight of missing braids pulling at her like gravity. The gala's laughter still echoed in her ears, but she kept moving through the service corridor behind the rooftop bar. Staff eyes flicked toward her, some pitying, some horrified, most quickly looking away. She didn't stop. Didn't speak. Just pushed through the swinging door into the small employee break room. Fluorescent lights, a battered couch, a chipped sink, and blessed quiet. She locked the door behind her. Her hands shook as she pulled the burner phone from her apron pocket. The screen lit up her face, half-shorn, tear-streaked, but alive with something fiercer than pain. She opened the Equity Lens app, the private admin version only she had access to, connected to the hotel's weak Wi-Fi, and transferred the body cam footage in under 30 seconds. No edits. Raw. Real. Caption. This is what charity looks like in 2026. Billionaire Thorne Blackwell just shaved a black waitress's head for spilling one drop of wine. At a gala raising money for housing. Watch. Share. Demand better. Hashtag Thorne shame. She hit post. The first views trickled in, her core followers, the activists who'd been with Equity Lens since the early days when it was just her posting grainy videos from protests in Leimert Park. Likes. Shares. Comments exploding. WTF is this? This man is done. Protect black women at all costs. Within minutes the algorithm caught fire. Equity Lens's network, decentralized, fierce, built on years of quiet organizing, started pushing. TikTok stitches. Instagram reels. X threads. The clips spread like wildfire through group chats, DMs, burner accounts. Hashtag Thorne shame appeared on the trending sidebar before the clock even struck 11:30. Keisha sank onto the couch, phone clutched tight, watching the numbers climb. 10K views, 50K, 200K. Across town, in a sleek Century City office, Thorne Blackwell's PR team was already in crisis mode. His chief of staff paced, phone to ear. Delete his accounts. Issue a statement. It was a misunderstood prank gone wrong. Mr. Blackwell regrets any distress caused. They posted it at 11:42 p.m. It got ratioed in seconds. Back in the break room, Keisha's burner buzzed with notifications. The video had crossed 1 million views. Mainstream outlets were picking it up. TMZ, page 6, KTLA. Headlines writing themselves. Billionaire bully shaves waitress head at charity gala. Viral video exposes Thorne Blackwell's cruel prank. Then the first twist hit. Keisha refreshed the analytics dashboard. The body cam footage had automatically pulled embedded metadata, standard equity lens protocol for traceability. Buried in the file properties, links to Thorne's own archived X posts from 2023 and 2024. Posts where he bragged about disciplining inferiors and teaching lessons the hard way, in cryptic business bro speak. One post read, "Sometimes you have to cut the weak links to keep the chain strong. No apologies." The algorithm didn't care about subtlety. It connected the dots. Now every share included those quotes. His own words weaponized against him. Media picked it up instantly. CNN ran a cheer-in. Blackwell's past posts surface amid viral humiliation video. Influencers stitched the clip with his old tweets. The frenzy doubled. Keisha's phone vibrated again, another notification from the app. A verified account had just reposted the video. The handle at Lena Voss Official. Lena Voss, Oscar-nominated actress, longtime LA resident, vocal on social justice. She'd been at the gala. In the crowd. Watching. Her caption. "I was there tonight. I saw what happened to Keisha. Thorne Blackwell, you are not a leader. You are a disgrace. We will not let this slide. Hashtag Thorne shame, hashtag protect black women." The post exploded. Lena's 12 million followers flooded in. Sponsors who'd been tagged in Blackwell Ventures ads, luxury brands, banks, even a major streaming service, started issuing quiet statements. "We are reviewing our partnerships." One by one, pullouts began. Keisha stared at the screen. Her shaved head reflected back in the phone's glass, uneven, raw, but unbowed. Tears had dried. In their place, something harder. The clock struck midnight. The video hit 5 million views. Thorne Blackwell's empire, built on disruption, arrogance, and the assumption that no one would ever push back, had just felt the first real tremor. And the night was only beginning. The first gray light of January slipped through the blinds of Keisha's Echo Park studio apartment. She hadn't slept. She sat cross-legged on the floor, back against the couch, burner phone in one hand, laptop balanced on her knees. The shaved patches on her scalp itched under the soft beanie she'd pulled on, but she ignored it. Her eyes were glued to the screens, multiple tabs open. X Trends, Google News Alerts, Equity Lens Analytics Dashboard. Hashtag Thorne Shame had crossed 12 million mentions overnight. The video sat at 18 million views. Every major outlet had picked it up. TMZ, Billionaire's brutal prank goes viral. Waitress shaved at charity gala. KTLA, Hollywood Roosevelt incident sparks outrage over racial humiliation. The Los Angeles Times, Blackwell Ventures CEO faces backlash after viral assault video. Keisha refreshed the stock ticker for Blackwell Ventures' publicly traded subsidiary. Down 14% in pre-market trading. Investors were spooked. Sponsors were fleeing. Across town in the glass tower of Blackwell Ventures' Century City headquarters, the boardroom lights had been on since 4 a.m. Thorne sat at the head of the long table, tie loosened, sleeves rolled up, trying to look in control. His father, the company's co-founder, stared at him from the video wall, face carved from stone. The rest of the board, suits with 7-figure stakes, leaned forward like jurors. "We're getting calls from every major partner," one board member said flatly. "They want distance. Now." Another, "The city's affordable housing task force just pulled our RFP. They're citing reputational concerns." Thorne's jaw tightened. It was one stupid moment. "We issue a real apology, donate more to the charity, spin it as a misunderstanding." His father cut him off. "You don't spin this, son. You survive it. Or you don't." Meanwhile, Keisha's phone buzzed nonstop, DMs flooding in from insiders she'd cultivated over years. Former employees. Disgruntled devs. A former executive assistant who'd quit after Thorne's jokes crossed lines. She opened a secure group chat she'd created at 2 a.m., whistleblower drop. Messages poured in. I've got emails from 2024. He called a black intern the help, in a company-wide thread. Screenshots of him mocking a Latina cleaner in Slack. Audio from a team call where he said, "We need to toughen up the bottom rung." Keisha typed back. "Send everything. Anonymized. Time-stamped. We go public at 8 a.m. The leaks hit like grenades. By 7:15 Reddit's r/Los and r/public freakout were flooded with threads. Anonymous paste bin links circulated. Redacted but damning emails, Slack logs, even a grainy office party video of Thorne pranking a junior employee by dumping water on them while laughing. The pattern was clear. Thorne didn't just humiliate Keisha. He'd done it before. Repeatedly. To people who couldn't fight back. The stock dipped another 8%. Then came the apology video. At 8:03 a.m. Thorne posted from his verified account. He sat in a minimalist home office. Soft lighting, neutral background, practiced remorse on his face. "I want to sincerely apologize for my actions last night," he began, voice measured. "It was a misguided attempt at humor that went too far. I regret the pain I caused and am committed to making it right." He paused for effect. "I'm donating an additional $1 million to housing charities." The video cut. Suddenly the screen glitched. Overlaid text appeared in bold red. Meanwhile, Blackwell Ventures app has displaced 1,247 families in South Central and Inglewood since 2023. A map popped up, red dots marking evicted homes. Screenshots of eviction notices. Testimonies from displaced residents. Statistics from city housing reports. Then a voiceover, calm, female, distorted for anonymity. Thorne Blackwell calls this disruption. We call it destruction. The hacked overlay lasted exactly 47 seconds, long enough to go viral before Thorne's team could yank the original post. Equity Lens hackers, a tight-knit crew of ethical coders Keisha had quietly collaborated with for years, had slipped in through a backdoor in his account's third-party scheduling tool. They didn't destroy anything. They just made the truth louder. The apology video was reposted thousands of times, with the overlay intact. Views skyrocketed past 30 million. Newsrooms ran it side by side with the shaving clip. Comment sections erupted. This man is a walking lawsuit. Apology? More like damage control. Equity Lens just bodied him. Keisha watched the numbers climb from her apartment floor. The sun was fully up now, spilling gold across the hardwood. Her phone buzzed again, a text from an unknown number. Board just called an emergency vote. He's on the chopping block. She exhaled, slow, steady. The cracks were spreading. Fast. And the morning was far from over. By 1:17 p.m. the sun was high over Los Angeles, but the temperature in Thorne Blackwell's world had dropped to freezing. Keisha still hadn't moved from her apartment floor. The laptop screen reflected in her eyes like twin fires. Blackwell Ventures stock ticker, now down 41% since pre-market, flashed red across every financial app. The Nasdaq halt warnings were popping up. Volatility circuit breakers triggered twice already. Investors weren't just pulling out, they were running. Her phone buzzed with fresh alerts. Class action lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court. Lead plaintiff, a former Blackwell Ventures junior analyst claiming hostile work environment based on leaked emails. More suits were being prepared, discrimination, emotional distress, even a civil assault claim tied directly to last night's gala. Gala witnesses, 3 servers, a bartender, even one reluctant executive, had come forward overnight. Statements were circulating on legal Twitter. I saw him grab her shoulder. I saw the clippers. It wasn't a joke. Keisha didn't celebrate. She worked. Through a secure Equity Lens back channel, she forwarded the body cam footage, with faces of other staff blurred, to contacts at the LAPD's Special Victims Unit and the California Attorney General's office. No signature. No trace. Just the raw file and a single note. Assault captured on video at public event. Multiple witnesses. Pattern of behavior established via leaked internal documents. Within the hour, news broke. LAPD confirmed they were reviewing the incident and had requested the full gala security footage from the Hollywood Roosevelt. The AG's office issued a statement. We are monitoring developments closely and will pursue any violations of civil rights or assault statutes. Thorne was gone from public view. His Instagram was dark. His ex account suspended for abusive behavior. Insiders whispered he'd retreated to his Malibu beach house. Gates locked, blinds drawn, phone off. But the internet didn't need him online to tear him apart. Keisha refreshed the Equity Lens dashboard. The platform had gained 1.2 million new followers since midnight. Donation links she'd quietly added were lighting up, small amounts from people who'd never given before. $5, $10, $27. Messages poured in. Thank you for fighting. This is why we need Equity Lens. You're not alone. Then the final hammer fell. At 3:42 p.m., the official Stars for Shelter Gala Instagram account posted a statement. It was short, polished, devastating. Following last night's unacceptable incident, the organizing committee has made the decision to redirect the full $2.5 million contribution pledged by Blackwell Ventures to grassroots organizations combating gentrification and housing inequality in Los Angeles, including Equity Lens. We stand in solidarity with Keisha Reynolds and all affected individuals. We will not tolerate abuse under the guise of charity. The post included a screenshot of the transfer confirmation, tagged at Equity Lens Official. The internet detonated. Equity Lens's verified account, previously anonymous, now had no choice but to claim it. Keisha posted once. Thank you to everyone who stood up. This money will go directly to housing defense funds in South Central, Inglewood, and Compton. We keep fighting. The post hit 4 million likes in under an hour. Thorne's remaining allies went silent. His father issued a terse company statement. Mr. Blackwell has been placed on indefinite leave pending internal review. Translation: fired. The stock closed at minus 57%. Billions evaporated in a single trading day. Keisha leaned back against the couch, the beanie slipping slightly to reveal the uneven stubble underneath. She touched it, gingerly, almost curiously. It didn't feel like defeat anymore. It felt like armor. Outside, the afternoon sun burned bright over Los Angeles. But inside Thorne's Malibu fortress, the lights stayed off. And the avalanche kept rolling. By 10:47 p.m. the city lights of Los Angeles glittered like scattered diamonds below Keisha's Echo Park window. The day had stretched into 24 brutal, beautiful hours. Thorne Blackwell was finished. The final nails had been driven in waves. The Hollywood Roosevelt issued a lifetime ban on him and any Blackwell Ventures affiliated events. Every major industry gala organizer followed suit within the hour, blacklisted before he could even respond. The LAPD announced warrants for questioning on felony assault charges, citing clear evidence of intentional battery and humiliation in a public setting. His personal net worth, once tied to stock options and private holdings, had cratered. The last Bloomberg alert pegged Blackwell Ventures at minus 73% for the day. Billions gone. Social media had already moved on to the next scandal, but Thorne's name was poison. No invites. No calls. No future. He sat alone in the dark Malibu beach house, phone dead on the marble counter, the ocean roaring outside like it was mocking him. The man who once disrupted entire neighborhoods now couldn't even disrupt his own silence. Across town, Keisha stood in front of her bathroom mirror for the first time since the gala. She pulled off the beanie. The stubble was uneven, patchy in places, but the shape of her head felt new, exposed, vulnerable, powerful. She ran her fingers over it slowly. No tears this time. Just a quiet exhale. She smiled, small, real, unbreakable. Equity Lens had exploded. Overnight, the platform crossed 4.7 million followers. Donations from the viral campaign had already poured in. $1.8 million and climbing. Keisha had already wired the first chunk, $750,000, to 3 South Central Housing Defense Funds. Legal aid for tenants facing eviction. Community land trust. Emergency relocation grants for families displaced by the very apps Thorne once bragged about. She sat at her desk, the laptop screen glowing soft blue in the dim room. She typed one final post for the night. Tonight we rest, but tomorrow we build. Thank you for turning pain into power. This isn't the end. It's the beginning. Hashtag Equity Lens, hashtag Thorne Shame, hashtag we keep going. She hit publish. Then she leaned back, letting the quiet settle. Her phone buzzed once, soft, almost hesitant. An anonymous message through the Equity Lens encrypted tip line. No sender name. Just a forwarded email chain from 6 months earlier. She opened it. The subject line: Acquisition Inquiry, Equity Lens Platform. Sender: Thorne Blackwell, personal email. Recipient: a private equity firm Keisha had never heard of. The body was short. Interested in acquiring the Equity Lens network. Strong growth potential in the social impact space. Offer: $12 million cash plus equity stake. Discreet. Let me know how to proceed. TB. Keisha stared at the screen. 6 months ago, Thorne had tried to buy her platform. Quietly. Through shell companies. He'd wanted to own it, probably to neuter it, rebrand it, or bury it. The offer had been rejected by the intermediary firm, who never told Keisha the buyer's identity. But the money? It had bounced through accounts that eventually funded anonymous grants to grassroots coders. Coders who'd later joined the Equity Lens hacker collective. The same collective that hijacked his apology video. The same one that helped amplify the leaks. The same one that turned his own arrogance into the weapon that destroyed him. Thorne had unknowingly funded the network that ended him. Keisha let out a single soft laugh. Not cruel, just complete. She closed the laptop. Walked to the window. Looked out over the city she loved. The city that had tried to break her and instead made her stronger. The Hollywood sign glowed white against the dark hills. In LA, empires rose on disruption. But sometimes the disruption came from the bottom up. From a waitress with a tray, a hidden camera, and a refusal to stay silent. Grassroots power didn't need billions. It just needed one spark. And tonight, that spark had become a wildfire. Keisha touched her stubble again, gentle this time. Then she whispered to the empty room, to the city, to herself. We're just getting started. What will you rate this story from 0 to 10? And what part of the world are you watching from? Comment your country below. Let's build a global community rooted in kindness and second chances. If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Your support brings us closer to our 1K subscriber milestone and inspires us to keep creating more emotional stories of resilience, healing, and Black excellence. Thank you for being part of our journey. Your presence matters more than you know. Hope to see you again.